Okay, this is Unit 4 Linear Equations, Section 6 Writing Linear Equations from Points. So often we need to write our own equations. The simplest way to do this is to find the slope of the line and a point in the equation that passes through. So to do this, once you get your point and your slope, you're going to put it into point-slope form. So point-slope form, here is our equation for point-slope form. So all you need is one coordinate and one slope to substitute in. And then just a reminder, here's your slope equation. And then also a reminder to our points are written as x1, y1. So when you see a point, remember x always is first. So here's our example. So how to write your equation of point slope form. First, identify the slope of the function. So in this first example, in example 1, it says to write the equation of a function that has a slope of -9. So that's our m. -9 is m. And it passes through -4, 5. Well, that's 1 point in the line. So -4 is x1 and 5 is y1. And then now we're going to plug it into point slope form. So here's our equation. We have everything we need. So I'm going to zoom in. So we have y minus y1, which is 5, equal to m, which is -9, times x minus x1, which is -4. So notice how we have two negatives in a row. That is a positive, so you're going to put a plus. Okay, next step is to just distribute your slope. So distribute the -9. So we have y minus 5 equal to -9x minus 9 times 4, which is 36. So the negative becomes a -36. Next step is to add 5 to both sides. So we have y equals -9x. So we have 36, -36 plus 5, so -31. And that is our equation. So in this equation, it goes through this point, it has this slope, and there's our linear equation. So we're going to practice taking our equations from point slope form to slope intercept form. So we have a slope of 3, so that's our m, and it passes through the point 3, -10. So 3 is our x1 and -10 is our y1. So we have y minus -10 equal to 3 times x minus 3. That's just plugging it into our equation. Next, we have two negatives, so that turns into a positive. After that, our next step is to distribute. So you're going to distribute your 3. So we have y plus 10 equal to 3x minus 9. Subtract 10 from both sides. So we have y equals 3x minus 19. And that is our equation. Okay, example number 3. Slope of 4/5, and it passes through 15, -11. So 4/5 are m, and 15s are x1, -11s are y1. So we have y minus -11 equal to 4/5 times x minus 15. So that double negative turns into a positive. So we have y plus 11. Now we just distribute. So that's equal to 4/5 x. Take your calculator, do 4/5 times -15, and that gives us -12. Next step is to subtract the 11 so that we get y by itself. So we have y equals 4/5 x minus 23. So our m is 4/5, and now we found our b, so b is -23. So if we wanted to, we could go ahead and easily plot this. Number 4. So now we are just given 2 points. So when you're given 2 points, you always need to find slope. So first is to find slope. So to find slope, you have to use your slope formula. So m equals 17 minus 7 over 6 minus 4. So we get 10 over 2, which is just 5. So that's our slope. Now we can pick a point and we can go into point slope form. So if I just pick this first point, we have our m. So we have y minus 7 equal to 4 times x, equal to 5 times x minus 4. So no double negatives to worry about. We can go straight into distributing. So y minus 7 equals 5x minus 20. Add 7 to get y by itself. And now we have y by itself. So y is equal to 5x minus 13. And that's our equation. Okay, number 5. So same thing, we need to find slope. So x1, y1, x2, y2. So m is equal to 2 minus negative 2 over negative 3 minus 9. So double negatives turn into a positive. So we have 4 over negative 12. If we reduce our fraction, this becomes negative 1/3. I like to move the negative all the way to the front. So now this is our m. Now we're going to find our equations. We have y, and then I'm just going to pick any point. So I'm going to pick negative 3, 2. So we have y minus 2 equal to negative 1/3 times x minus negative 3. So those two negatives turn into a positive. Now we can distribute our negative 1/3. So y minus 2 equals negative 1/3 x. Negative 1/3 times positive 3 is a negative 1. Next step of getting y by itself is to add 2. So we have y equals negative 1/3 x plus 1. So negative 1/3 is our slope and 1 is our y-intercept. So that's our equation. Number 6. Passes through 1, 2, and 7, 2. So go ahead and add your x1 and a y1, x2, y2. That way we can find our slope. So m is equal to 2 minus 2 over 7 minus 1. So we get 0 over 6, which is just 0. And that's okay. M can be 0. Now take your point and plug it in. So we have y minus 2 equal to 0 times x minus 1. So what do we notice right here? 0 times x minus 1. Well, hopefully you notice that this is just 0. So we have y minus 2 equal to 0. Add 2 to both sides. Y equals 2. And that's okay, because this is just a horizontal line. And you should have noticed that when the slope was 0. So that is your equation. It's okay just to have x equals 2. Y equals 2, sorry. Last problem. So it passes through 3, 4, and negative 8, 0. So again, first thing is to find our slope. x1, y1, x2, y2. So m is equal to 3 minus 0 over 4 minus negative 8. Those two negatives make a positive, so we have 3 over 12, which is just 1/4. Next step is to plug it in. So I'm just going to use the point negative 8, 0, because when you can use a 0, it just makes everything a little bit easier. So we have y minus 0 equal to 1/4 times x minus negative 8. Those two negatives become a positive. When you have a minus 0, that's just like nothing. It doesn't really change your problem, so you can just drop that 0. So all you have to do is distribute, and then we're done. So we have 1/4 x, and then 1/4 of 8, so that's just 8 divided by 4, so that's plus 2. And that's our equation. Okay, so that is it for notes. Your homework is not the next page in your homework packet. So, not this one, not this one, not this one, but this worksheet that says point slope formula. So you are doing this worksheet front and back. So you're going to do all 12 problems. Okay, don't forget to write your formulas down on the worksheet. So